Greetings and welcome to what is Fate Grand Order, a mobile game that came out just under a month ago, I believe, and is starting to be pretty popular and is increasingly and massively popular over there in Japan and Asia, mostly because it is related to the Fate, let's see, Unlimited Works, Fate Stay Night, and Fate Zero visual novels and animes that are released over there. And it's been proving very successful over here as well, considering that before the game launched, we were able to gather around, 80,000 likes on their Facebook page and such, so we got a bunch of rewards. But anyway, enough talk about stuff that doesn't matter. Let's go into the game and show you what the game actually is about, shall we? Here we have the news section. We'll just close that quickly. Now, welcome to what you will see mostly throughout the game. Now, before you ask, what is the game about? Well, the game is quite literally what is based on the Fate series in that it's servant-on-servant battles, I think you could call them. The difference this time around is that you are the master and you send out your little servants in order to battle. Now, one of the most important things about this game is that one, it is a gacha game, so that means you're going to be pulling from a random pool to see what you get. Now, that alone usually turns some people off because they don't like gacha games because, oh great, that means if I don't get any of the super rare characters, I'm going to have a lot harder time than someone that does get them. Now, usually that would be true, but not in this game from my personal experience, and I will show you that what I mean. Oh, we got half success, interesting. So anyway, first let's go into our formation menu, which is by far the most important. Now, here in party setup, as you can see, you pick you pick the servants you want to bring to you into battle. Now, one of the important things here is as you can see, right now I am using my level 50 Ushi Wakamaru and Medusa, who are both of the Rider class. Now, the class is by far the most important part in this game. Unfortunately, I can't show you here because, as you would guess, one class usually deals more damage and takes less damage from another. Now, there are exceptions to this rule, which I'll show you before we actually go into a map. But before, let's show you that little menu I showed you here on Saber Lily, shall we? Now, as you can see here you can see in general the stats of your character, well, of the servant. And not only that, as the character levels up and you increase your bond level there, as you can see, it takes quite a bit after you get to level 5, you start unlocking more of their abilities. As you can see, in order to get her third skill, I need to do one more ascension. I've already done 2, so I'm almost there. Unfortunately, I am missing the materials for that. Now, every character also has 2 passives. The strength of the passive doesn't seem to be that strong, and you don't even notice them inside the game, but they're always there. They also have what is called a Noble Phantasm. That is like their ultimate ability, it's literally that, their ultimate ability. And throughout the battle, you're going to be slowly charging up your character's, the little special bar that determines whether you can use it or not. And each character has a very unique one with unique animations-ish. And they are relatively varied in that I've seen buff types. I've seen ones that attack the entire enemy group. I've seen ones that focus on one person. But yeah, here you can see the MP match gauge. As you can see, unfortunately, this Saber Lily's MP gauge can only reach 100%. I'm not sure if there's a way to make it so that it can go even higher, up to 200 and 300. But because it's grayed out, there's a possibility. Now, even below, as you can see here, command card. This is what makes the game actually interesting, because the way it is played is that the servants you currently have on the field, which are 3, will have their command cards, which you can see here, shuffled into what will be a virtual deck, and then each turn you draw 5 random cards from that virtual deck that you can't see. And as you start using those cards, once you use all 15 cards, which is a combination of all of those 3 servants, it gets reshuffled and you pull from it again. It makes more sense when you see it, and it's actually very simple and interesting and allows for some very, although random, very interesting battles. Now, further below, as you can see, you can change the icon of the character you're doing. For example, I don't think I can actually... Oh, hello. I didn't know you could do that. But anyway, as you can see by the little icon there, so this Saber Lily started off with the armor that is, people know Saber for. Now, what else is here? The profile. Here you can see basically their little story and the descriptions of most of their abilities and quite a bit of other things here. Then we have character skin. Now, as you can see, that's the one I'm using right now, which is the first ascension. Now that is the look she had when we first got her. As you can see, she's wearing around all her armor, and that means she takes it off. And I think in the final ascension, I think the skirt gets shorter, I'm not sure. And then you can also hear her voice if you actually want to hear that. Let's see, which is good. Let's see, this one. So yeah, it's got a lot of elements that allow you to enjoy most of the characters in multiple capacities. Now, what else do we have here? Now, support setup. This is something I wish other games would do. Now, the characters you set here are the characters your friends and strangers will see when they are picking a friend to bring along for that battle. Now, as you can see, you can actually select what to show so that when they are looking for a specific type of servant, they will all see the servant you set in that slot. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Now, you also have those little cards there in the middle, these right here. Now, these apply to your battle team and to the supports. They can overlap and there isn't a problem. Now, these cards are what would be equivalent of, I'm not sure, equipment in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Now, most of these equipments do various things. For example, this one here, when the quest is complete, increases the amount of Mystic Code experience gained by 50. Now, that makes little sense right now, but Mystic Code is basically your character's special abilities, I guess, or ability array. So they're hard to explain outside of battle, but I'll show you. So as you can see, they all have different effects. This one increases your Buster Card effectiveness by 8%. That's definitely good if you're using a lot of Berserkers. However, these are definitely the best ones I have so far. Begin the battle with your MP charged at 30. Now, MP refers to Noble Phantasm that we just went over, and it's their special ability. And as you pretty much saw, you need at least 100% in order to be able to use it. So starting with 30% is actually pretty good. Now, one of the rarest cards that you can get from the rare summon is not actually a servant, but a card that does something similar to that, but it says 80%. So starting the battle with 80% of your special bar filled up, extremely powerful. Now, what else do we have in this menu? Support Origin, Spirit Origin list. Here you can see details on pretty much everything you want here. Second Archive, I'm not really sure. I think it's like a storage chest of some sorts where you can put things you're not using but don't want to give up. Kind of a bit of a weird side, but anyway. Now, what is Enhance? So as you can see here, yeah. So as you can see, here is where you actually strengthen your servants. You make it so that they can get to higher levels. Your little cards that I just mentioned can also be done here. You break the rarity, you increase their Noble Phantasms, and Paladin Genesis is one of the rare ones because apparently here you can increase the maximum rarity by 5, as you can see. It requires basically a Holy Grail, but I'm not sure if you should do that at the beginning or if you should wait until they're absolutely maxed out. I'm not sure. But anyway, if we were to look to a servant here, you could see that we can select any servant from our collection, and then we would be, let's see, who can we actually do this on? Oh, here we go, you. So first you select the servant, and then as you can see, you can pick from any of the special cards or essences. And clearly, as you can see, the color determines how powerful and how much experience they get. For example, this gold one gives 27,000, and the silver one only 9,000, and this gray one only 1,000. However, you're obviously watching those symbols there. Now, as you could probably guess, if you give somebody of that class one of their proper symbol, let's say, for example, if we go to, let's see, where's my Lancer? Here we go. So this one gives her 27,000. Now, she is not of the Lancer class, she's a Shielder. However, if we go over here to Mr. Kuchu Lane here, and we go back to Lancer, here we go, he's getting 32,400 instead of 27,000. So you obviously want to give them one of the proper classes. Now, there are generic ones down here. Now, as you can see, I've got a couple golden ones that work properly for any class, that give full experience for all the other to every class, so that's definitely good. Now, what are these little dog things here? So these right here, you can just press over and increase his servant's maximum HP by 50, up to a maximum of 990. So these are like little buffs that increase the stats of your, characters. Now, as we just saw, the maximum seems to be 1,000. But getting 1,000 extra attack is definitely nothing bad and nothing to scoff at. But right now we don't need to level up anybody else, so what do we have? Skills. Now, as we said earlier, every servant comes with one skill, and as you increase their level, they unlock 2 more skills, one after the other, based on how high you got them. For example, Lily here, she has this, I'm not sure what it's called, and this one right here. This one grants us some critical stars for that turn, and this one increases her personal Buster card effectiveness for that turn. Now, as you can see, they both require 10 of things I don't have right now. That redstone I think I'll get later in the week, but those fangs I'm not really sure where to get them. So who else can we put? Let's see, Yo. Now, as you can see, she's only got level 1 in both of her skills, but she only requires 5 of these things. I think these are Mark of Hero, and we have 10, so we could easily do that. But we don't really want to do that because we don't really use her. Oh, we already have one of these big things. Now, as you can see, every servant has their own requirements depending on the rarity of the grade of the ability it's currently at. So yeah, this is another way to strengthen your servants. Now, craft essences here. Instead of strengthening your characters, you will strengthen the little cards that you equip onto them. Now, I currently don't have any particularly strong ones, or any that I can get rid of at the moment. Oh, it's at maximum level, right. No, hold on. Now, as you can see, I couldn't level it up because it was already at max level. How about this one? Here we go. So as you can see, I can select any of the other essences to sacrifice into it to increase its level. Now, increasing its level, let's say we were going to give it that one. It's still not enough. You can see how much experience it gained. Now, if we say gave it another one, here we go. You can see the attack bonus it gives to the character that it is equipped to goes up slightly. However, that's not the important part. The important part, I hate it when it does that, is that as you can see, they also have little stars there. Now, those little stars mean that you have given that specific essence a copy of itself. For example, no, not you. I hate it when it does that. So if we go here to the same 19 one and we say it's equipped, we can't give it to him. But anyway, if you give it the same copy, it'll open up a star and increase its rarity by, I believe, 5 or 10 levels, I believe. Yeah, it'll increase it by 10 levels. I can tell because this one right here, well, I don't know if you can see it there, is level 23 out of 40, and it started out at maximum 20, so. And it had 2 little stars active, so I obviously gave it 2. Now, Master Ascension. This is the important part here, and probably the most difficult thing to do. Now, as you can see, I've got lots of pretty high-level characters, relatively speaking. But if I want to increase the rarity of my Berserker by another 10 levels, I need all of those materials. Now, as you can see, I have no idea what this is or where to get it quite at the moment, and I have gotten 0 to drop from anywhere, so I'm not sure what I can do there. However, if I go to something that is lower level, like say Medusa here, you can see I need super level materials there. You can see them based on the background. Now let's see, if we go to Mr. Kuchu Lane here, as you can see, I've got plenty of those silver statues to increase his rarity should I choose to. Now obviously, the higher the rarity and the higher the level that you're going to, the more materials you need. For example, Saber Lily here requires actual golden statues and lots of all of those things. Level 20 fangs, that's a lot of those. So yeah, that is how you increase a level. Now, lastly, Palingenesis. Now, this allows you to surpass your servant's limit by 5 levels for each one you give them. Now, I do not know if this would just be on top of their maximum level or if you should wait until they're at maximum level before doing this. I have no idea. But I'm going to wait until my characters are maximum level to do it, just in case. Now, what other thing do we have? Oh yeah, summoning. Now, as you can see, right now we have this is the very first special battle for the global version, and this is where Gilgamesh came out, and along with several other characters, and some more characters got and increased their drop rate. Now, if you click here on summon info, you can read about the event now. There are very few events that actually give you this little table right here that says you only have a 1% chance to get a 5-star servant. Not many games actually show you this percentage, and I believe in China, a recent regulation was passed that forces mobile games to show you this table, otherwise they are deemed illegal and basically taken off the market. So as you can see, limited time drop rate up for Gilgamesh. Aside from that, you also have a slight chance of getting Archer, Berserker, Lancer, and Caster on 4 and 3 stars. But that is what the summon is. Now, I could do a summon. I do have 12 tickets. Actually, you know what? Let's do a couple summons, shall we? We're going to use our tickets because I'm saving up my quartz for banners that eventually come by. Let's see, what do we get? What do we get? Not much. That isn't really worth anything. One more. Come on, something. Oh, at least it's a servant I did not have. And she is my actual first... Well, she's not my first caster. Okay, so who are you? Medea, huh? Now, this might be a caster I actually use. Let's look at the cards. Oh, triple arts cards. Ooh, now that is definitely going to be useful for one of Abuse arts cards. She's only 3 stars, but as I mentioned earlier, and we're going to get to that very soon, even 3-star servants or lower can be super helpful if you play your cards right. Now, what are we missing? The shop. This is not actually... Well, if we go here, you can see you can buy Saint Quartz. And yes, I'm playing this from Mexico City, so 1 Saint Quartz is around... That would be around... around $1 for 1 Saint Quartz? Yeah, around that, so it's actually not too bad considering other... So if we... Yeah, I'm not going to buy any Saint Quartz because that is never done. Now, what is this special summon? Now, this is something very interesting that I have not seen any other game do. Well, I guess Sword Art Online Memory Defrag did something relatively similar. But other than that, what this means is that if you get the same 5-star servant 6 times, oh poor you, the 6th time you get it, you will get 10 of these little marks. And you can exchange those 10 marks for any of those 5-star servants. Now currently, because Gilgamesh is on his special banner, you can actually get 1 of him if you have 10 of those things. I have 0, I don't even have a 5-star servant, so yeah. Now what else is here that does not involve real money? Well, right now we have this, where we can pick any 4-star servant we want out of this list. Now I picked Elizabeth Bathory there because I was missing a 4-star Lancer servant, well, and she's been very useful to me. Now what is burning and selling? Well, quite literally, burn stuff for money. We are not going to do any of that, thank you. Now, mana prisms. These are the little mana cubes that we can get through pretty much every single daily quest every day. And as you can see, that's enough from you, Da Vinci. And yes, that is Leonardo da Vinci in the game. It's a strange story. But as you can see, we can trade these little mana cubes for other things. Now, as you can see, you can even get tickets out of them if you so wish. Now, I believe there are a total of 5 tickets there. And as you can see, there is a stock of 3 and 20 and 20 of those things. Now, the EXP card set, as you can see, gives you the golden cards for anybody, so everybody gets full experience of 10, and it gives you 10 of them. So if you seriously need massive experience very quickly, this is the place to get them. Now, right now, as you saw, I don't need any more experience, so I'm just saving up my cubes, and really, that's all I'm doing. What else do we have? Exchange rare prisms. Currently, there is nothing here. I have no idea what will be there. Now, Saint Quartz fragments. What are these? You get these as rewards for completing certain quests or certain missions or completing the date, all the weekly quests. But really, that's what it is. And exchange Saint Quartz fragments. Oh, we were just there. And yeah, that's the shop in general. Now, the friend list is quite literally, as in every game, basically the friends you have accepted or that have accepted you. Now, if you go here, we can see that you can actually pick what servant from your friends you want to bring along. For example, Zero here has a Vlad the Impaler, who's a 5-star Berserker class. However, I don't really use that much. So let's say right now we need a Rider class for something we're doing. As you can see, Zero has, what's your name? Saint Martha as his Rider friend class. And let's see, Caster is Zero here. He doesn't have a Caster either. What about Lancer? Oh, he's got Cuchulainn at level 40 there as a Lancer. So as you can see, setting up different servants in your support menu that we saw earlier is very important. Now, lastly, we have My Room. Now here you can see your favorite servant. You can actually make it so that only they're shown or that the background's showing. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe in the future we'll know. Now here you can see all the materials you have for Spirit Origin and everything else. And you can see basically the entire collection of things you do and do not have. As you can see, I have 0 5 stars, but I have seen a lot of them from friends and other such things. Singularity Log. This is quite literally the story so that you can rewatch it. I'm not going to go into that because it is a story and it's the Fate series, so you play it for the story. Interlude Log. This is where you can see the interludes for all those characters. Now, right now, in order to watch these, you need to unlock them. Let's see, where's Medusa? Here you are, Medusa. So as you can see the stories that you go unlocking as you clear their special maps. So that's nice. And lastly, the opening. That's probably a movie I'm not going to play. I don't want to get flagged, just in case. Now, what else do we have? Item list. Here are all the items you have currently. As you can see, there is quite a bit of them, but right now I don't have a use for most of them. But I'm still collecting those. Now, here you can change who you want to show on your room. So, if we pick Saber, so yeah, every single servant. Actually, I'm very curious. What happens if I put Berserker here? Berserker classes don't speak at all so far. Well, actually, one of them does. Right. Why did I expect anything less? So yeah, there you can set which one you want to put as your favorite, and it doesn't affect your party at all. Now, Master Profile. Here you can see how much you have of everything that is important in terms of money, friend points, everything else. And also your level. Now, over there on top of her hand, you can see she has 3 symbols. This is exactly like it is in the visual novels and the anime, where you as a master have 3 command spells at your disposal. You personally recover 1 command spell every 24 hours. Now, these are extremely powerful because you can use all 3 of them to revive your entire servant party if you get knocked out. And luckily, because there aren't, let's say, clear the map without being knocked out once bonuses on any of the maps, you can actually use them liberally if you really need to. I've done it several times in order to pass certain maps, and it's definitely helped out a bit. Help, game options, issue transfer number, and issue title. So yeah, that is your room. Now, finally, let's get on to a battle, shall we? So, right now you can see Fuyuki is the cities you see there. Fuyuki is the prologue, Orleans is what you go after, and right now I'm in Septim. However, we're not going to go in there because that would spoil some of the story. So let's go into Chaldea Gate. Now this is where you can see, here you can skip straight to any of the maps that you have unlocked for your servants that have at least 1 ascension. I've tried Berserkers and his gets very crazy very quickly, so we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to go into the daily quests. Now remember those mana cubes I told you? This is where you get them, and as you can see, the higher the difficulty of the mission you clear, the more you get. Now, these quests vary greatly. Now, every day except on Sunday, this one's here, focus on 2 classes plus Berserkers. So, bringing along proper classes for that fight is a little difficult, but it's not that difficult. As you can see, I already cleared all 4 of these today. Now, right now, because I want to show you the focus on the class system, we're going to go into this. Now, because I haven't cleared this intermediate one here, we're going to bring this. Now, as you can see, there are only caster class enemies on this map. So if we open up the class affinity, little chart here, we can see how the game works. There are 2 sections of rock, paper, scissors that are independent of each other. Then there's Berserker, who deals extra damage and receives extra damage from everybody, except Shielder. And I think Ruler, maybe? And then there's Shielder up there all by itself, who does not deal and does not receive extra damage from anybody. And then there's Ruler, who is not shown here, but Rulers take reduced damage from everybody, except Berserkers, Shielders, and other Rulers. That makes Rulers extremely powerful. Now, currently, there is only 1 Ruler in the game, and that is Jeanne d'Arc, Joan of Arc. Here we go, Joan of Arc. No, I want to see you. Let me see. Here we go. Now, she is currently the only Ruler in the game. As you can see right there, a Ruler. However, her attack is actually very nice. This person has, wow, he's ascended her 3 times now. He is putting a lot of effort into it. Now, unfortunately, we are not... Now, if you have a Ruler as a friend, you can bring them out and they will always take reduced damage, but they don't deal increased damage to the enemies. So, because we know that we are facing only against casters, we are going to bring along an entire team of riders. Or at least our main team. As you can see, I am bringing along 2 3-star servants that are Medusa and Ushiwakamaru because they're riders, instead of my 4-star Berserker, Lancer, and Saber, who are actually a lot stronger, as you can see by their attack. They have 2,000 or 3,000 more attack than the ones I'm bringing along, but the class system is going to make up for this quite a bit. So let's get started, shall we? Now, using classes properly is going to be very important as you start dealing with more and more difficult daily missions and maps. Unfortunately, it's a little difficult to predict on certain maps where you can get a little bit of everything, so it's based on a little bit of luck. Okay, here we go. So let's explain this. Now, the most important part there is the attack button. Now, the moment you press the attack button, those 5 cards that you can see on top of the button are going to appear on the larger scale on here for you to select. Now, on this turn, well, on any turn, you get a random selection of 5 cards from the deck of 15 cards that is created by combining the 5 cards that each servant has. It sounds a little weird, but that's how it is. You can actually see the deck, so knowing what servants have, what combination of cards is relatively important if you want to abuse certain things. As we saw Medea when we summoned her, Medea had 3 blue cards. That means that she is extremely useful if you want to fill up your NP gauge very quickly. Now, NP gauge, as you can see below each of their healths is their NP gauge. Now, because I have Ushiwakamaru and Medusa equipped with a special card that lets them start with 30%, that's why they're there. Unfortunately, Martha there from our friend list doesn't start with anything, but we can fix that relatively soon. Now, into the actual battle itself. So, because we know we are here we go. Now, the first card you select every turn will apply its effect to the rest of the cards. Now, as you can imagine, blue cards, which are arts cards, increase the amount of MP you gain every turn. Quick cards increase the amount of critical stars that an opponent can drop after you attack them, which you can use for next turn. And red cards, which are buster cards, which aren't shown here, increase the damage that you deal with every other card. Now, because we are going to pick 3 cards of the same type, something special is about to happen. So as you can see, the effect was increased by even more. So as you can see, we gained 32% total MP this turn, if not more, on all of our characters. That's because when you pick 3 of the same type, the effect is amplified, and then on top of that, the normal effect that would happen by the cards themselves is also applied. So picking 3 cards of the same color is very powerful if it comes down to, well, actually with anyone, you just need to learn how to use them. Here we go. Here we have some red cards. As you can see, attack up for every single one. Unfortunately, we don't have 3 of any of those. So what do we do? Now, we want to make the final map here because, as you can see, there are enemies remaining and battles, 1 of 3. We want to make the final battle as easy as possible. So we'll start with an arts card so that all of our characters gain more arts throughout that turn. And then we'll pick Buster and Buster for increased damage. And because we picked an arts cards first, they will also increase their MP by a better amount than they would have normally. Now, as you can see, we are being attacked and resisting all of their attacks because we have a class advantage. Now, if we were neutral, we would be taking around 600 damage, and if we were weak, we would be taking around 2,000, because it doubles the damage or reduces damage based on from what I've seen. So, as you can see, bringing proper characters is a lot more important than rarity. Let's do this and this. So, because we are focusing on gaining MP so that at the end of the map we can clear it very quickly and easily, we are focusing on MP gaining throughout these fights. Now let's see, what do we have? Excellent, more blues. Now, let's talk about their special skills, shall we? So as you can see, every servant has a set of special skills that are unlocked as you level them up. They always start with at least 1 skill, and then as you awaken them, they get more. So as you can see, they're pretty varied in what they do. Medusa increases her own attack, but Ushiwakamaru increases everybody's attack and can increase the MP we gain from every attack. So we're going to use that right now. Now, as you can see, Martha can actually heal herself and remove any debuffs she has on herself, or she can heal everybody, which is nice. So as you can see, abilities are extremely varied. So what are we going to do here? We're going to start with we're going to do this, this, and this. And because we increase the MP we are going to gain this turn, if we could go past 100% on any of them, we would have easily. Unfortunately, we need to increase Ushiwakamaru's MP gacha by 4%. Yeah, here we go. Excellent. You. Actually, here and here. Excellent. Now, as you can see, Ushiwakamaru's bar went past 100%. That's because she... I'm not really sure why, honestly. I think I've only gone through one awakening with her, so the fact that she can go into 200% is actually very interesting. Let's see, can we increase it even more? Yes, we can. Now, as you saw there, on top of the standard 5 cards you'd get, you see their Noble Phantasm cards. Those always appear. Now, even using Noble Phantasms has their trick because, as you can see in a second here, even Noble Phantasms have card types. So, and if you want to do even more damage with it, say an AoE Noble Phantasm that is of a red type, you want to pick a red card at the beginning, and then if you manage to pick 2 more red cards after that, that Noble Phantasm will hit like a truck. So, what are we going to do? We want everything to deal extra damage, so we're going to start with Martha's Tarrasque ability. Unfortunately, I can't show you them slowed down, but then we're going to go with Medusa's AoE ability, and then we're going to finish anybody off with Ushiwakamaru there. So yeah, as you can see, because we have a type advantage, she basically destroyed those little server tombs. There we go. So as you can see, proper party composition is a lot more important than rarity. Even though only Martha was 4 stars or Hawk was 4 stars, our 3-star characters were able to stand up to the map very easily. Now, the higher difficulty and the more difficult the enemies get, the more important this is going to be. So then one of the things you're probably thinking is, so what about Berserkers? Are they strong enough to, well, outweigh their receive extra damage from everybody but deal extra damage to everybody? Now that's an interesting question, and we can explore that right now. If we go into the normal instead of the easy map, now we'll bring Martha again because she was useful. So what if instead of Rider, we brought along this? She is a Berserker, and she doesn't look like one, but she actually is. Now, what happens if we bring her along instead? How much damage will she take as a Berserker who takes extra damage from everybody, and how much damage will she actually do? Well, let's find out, shall we? Okay, here we are. So what options do we have? We don't have any triple blue cards this turn to start really stacking that MP gauge. So what can we do? Well, we can do this, and this to increase our MP gain as much as possible. Oh, here we go. Triple blue. This is what we want. So we'll use you, you, and you. So as you can see, that our little Berserker girl there is dealing extra damage to everybody, even though she isn't of the Rider class and the Berserker special ability. However, she hasn't gotten a hit yet. So let's see. Oh, triple reds. Interesting. Okay, so let's do this. Now, the reason I do it in this order is because if you tell a character to attack the same character multiple times, even if that thing dies, she will keep attacking, or it will keep attacking that same character, wasting some of your cards and damage. And that can be important. In a second, let's see. So, that's why I always try and separate characters if I know they're going to kill in one attack. Especially this time. There we go, 5,000. Nicely done. We still don't have any Noble Phantasms up, which kind of sucks, but here we go. Okay, that would not finish up any of theirs. However, we can abuse this. Now, something I have not mentioned is that if you select 3 of the same character, he will get a special 4th extra attack. So let's show this. No, it froze again. Okay, we're back. Now, don't worry, this is the first time it has crashed on me. So anyway, I was about to show you using 3 of the same character, right? So let's do this and this and this. Now, as you can see by there, when the cards are chosen, the third card will be the most powerful in terms of its own effect. And the second one will be slightly stronger, and the first one will just give its bonus to everybody else. So as you can see, Martha did 4 attacks that turn because she was the only one attacking, and we picked 3 of her, well, 3 of her cards. Now, I've never actually seen our little Berserker girls here, Noble Phantasm ever. So let's see if we can actually see it. Well, this kind of sucks, but so we'll just do this so we can buy time so to see if we can see hers. So she's going to completely destroy that one. So as you can see, our little Berserker girl is took 1,300 from enemies on easy. Oh, here we go. Yes, this is what we need. She will be able to destroy the last one by herself. Come on, charge it. This should charge it completely. Yes, excellent. Oh, and she can also go past 100%. Very interesting. Okay, so because I haven't seen this one, I'm going to turn Noble Phantom Animation to normal. And we are going to destroy that thing. Battle speed normal as well. Transforming Flame Emitting Meditation. Interesting. Okay, let's see. What does this look like? I've never seen it. Interesting. So she lets go of a giant flaming serpent that deals damage. So anyway, yeah. And yeah, now this at the end is how much bond points or friend points or relationship points, whatever you want to call them, each servant gains with you at the end of a battle. Now, getting them from 1 to 5 is relatively easy, but gaining the 6th star takes a long time. So if we go all the way back to the servant menu, come on, it's not that heavy. Here we go. Oh yeah, our little mana cube. Okay, if we go to, let's see, my room. Let's see. No, that wasn't it, was it? It should have been. Where do we look at this? Master profile, change favorite, material, item list. Oh well, let's just go into the formation. Here we go, Spirit Origin. If we go to Saber Lily here, who's the highest we have, you can see that her next little star, we have total bomb points of 137,400. Now, I'm not sure what it means by next 92,600. Do I need 92,000 for the next star? I don't know, but that is a ridiculous amount of friend points that you need to get. For example, no, wrong button. If we go to Mr. Cuchulain here, who has nothing, his next little bond star is at 2,000. So yeah, the more bond points are required to get there. So what am I missing? We've gone over pretty much everything. Oh no, we're actually missing something here. So if we go to the party setup yet again, and we go replace little Kiyohime here, and we say Saber Lily, we can actually go, and you can actually, set up how she looks. For example, if you go to character skin, as we mentioned before, you can select the skin. I'm really curious what the last one is like. You can see their voices and everything. But yeah, that is generally the game itself. A bit of a long video. Yes. So anyway, yeah, that is Fate Grand Order. Now, is the story good? The story is interesting at the very least. It definitely feels like a Fate story. And I'm not sure how far I am into it, probably not very far in. But considering that one of the characters that you get from the story only gains bond points as you progress through the story, and I'm only halfway through the 2nd star for that character, out of possible 10, we've got a lot of story to go. So yeah, there we go. That is what Fate Grand Order is. Oh. So yeah, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time for whatever shows up later.